I'm Claire from Creative the Ottaway. I'm an independent demonstrator for Stampin' Up in the UK. What does that mean? It means that I teach other people how to make cards and other paper crafting projects. I run workshops in my home, or I do craft events. Love sharing my love of crafting, and I get more excited about seeing somebody make something than I do anything else. I became a demonstrator because I absolutely love the Stampin' Up products. I originally wanted an owl punch and I could only get it through a demonstrator, and as soon as I saw a catalogue, that was it, I was hooked. Here I am 7 years later trying my hand at YouTube videos. So thank you so much for joining me. I try to keep my videos straight and to the point and try not to waffle too much, but sometimes I just can't help it. I get a bit excited about what we're doing. So today we're going to make something called a Z-fold card, and we're going to use some stuff from the new catalogue, of course. This really beautiful paper here. It's even better in the flesh. It is called Awash in Beauty. Okay, and it really is stunning. It's quite big floral patterns. I'm not usually a lover of big floral patterns. I like teeny tiny bits. I think that's what comes of being short. But that's quite nice. It's upside down for you, but that's a nice pattern. I mean, it's all really nice pattern. I'm gonna make a wedding album with the rest of this, and that's why I specifically got it. But if you turn it over on the other side, oh, we're not going to be able to see that. Let me do that again. You've got the other side just coordinates wonderfully. Can you see? Just absolutely beautiful. Lots of different shades and really no thinking involved. You just pick a piece and away you go. So, what are we making? So we're making today a Z-fold card. Now, if you've been crafting a little while, you would have heard of a Z-fold card. It comes in many shapes and sizes. If you Google it or go on Pinterest, you'll be there forever looking at different variations. So mine is a variation of that. I suppose you would call it a pop-up because it has this piece here that pops up. But just recently I've taken to doing lots of cards that you can decorate flat, and then it stands up like so, so it's a bit of a wow, and also it folds down flat, so this will fit in a 6x6 envelope, and it's big enough that it has a bit of impact when it's on the side or when somebody opens it, and I really like that they can see how much effort you've put in to make them a card. This one uses this paper from the collection, and you just need a 6x12 piece, and you can see I've used it in several different ways. I've reversed it there to use a layer stitched rectangle, and the flowers that I used, when I looked at this, I went through my stash and looked for different flowers that would coordinate, and the best one was the poppy. So if you've got that, Poppy Moments, okay, they're quite big dies, but I just used the smaller ones and just put a couple, and then used the little buds that are with them, and the leaves I've just chopped up a bit and spread around, so I think it works quite well. You are happy and free to use whatever you've got in your stash. The rectangle I used for the front is like that, and then what I was going to do, because this is the perfect framing for that rectangle, I was going to put it there, but then I had a moment of where would I put my personal message. I like to write on the card something really nice, and I don't want the whole world to see, so my one is sort of tucked inside there. Okay, now I did think about putting a sentiment there, but again, when it folds flat, unless you've really got a very narrow long sentiment, you're going to see it, so I decided not to, but I still think it's really effective. Another thing you could do is you could do things coming out of here. This could be a flower pot. there's just loads of ideas out there. There's some fantastic demonstrators around who are really warm and welcoming and just share their ideas. So go have a look at those as well. I'm going to show you how to make the base of the card. Decorate it with the panels, and then you go away and make it your own. So what do we need? We need a piece of base card that is 6 by 9 7/8. I'm using Granny Apple Green, and I'm going to layer it just because I like the effect with Merry Merlot. So I will give you those sizes as we go along. And then the designer series paper that we're going to use, the 6 by 12, this I've chosen this colour paper just because I looked at it and thought I really like the Granny Apple Green and the Merry Merlot together. But also when I use the other side, I think that layers up really well as well. So that's hence my choice. So that's what we're going to go for. So you just need a base card of 6 by 9 7/8. And some DSP of 6 by 12. So let's get crafting. If you've got your Stampin' Up trimmer, you need to cut it on the short side at 6 inches, the whole length. Okay. And then the next thing you need to do is turn it onto the long side, and you're going to score it at 4 inches. So be careful and get your blade out of the way and just score at 4 inches. Okay. And then you're going to score it again at 6 inches. Now there's hardly any scoring or cutting to this, and you still get an amazing card. So that's that. So you should have 2 lines in the middle. And then you want to chop it at 9 7/8. So you're going to cut this time. Okay, you end up with that bit. Again, you don't need that. But you should have a 6 inch by 9 7/8 with 2 score lines down the middle. Okay, so what do we need to do now? Now we need to do a tiny cut line here. Okay. So, right. So one of these sides, let me just check. One of these panels is 3 7/8. That one is 4. This one is 3 7/8. So make sure that you've got your 3 7/8 at the top. Okay, and what you want to do is line it up at 2 inches. So you're lining it up at 2 inches here. You are bringing your cutting blade to the first score line, which is just like so. Just push it down so that it's in, and it should be at 4 inches, or just under the 4 inches because it's 3 7/8. So as long as it's on that score line, and you're going to cut 1, 2, 2 just before 8 inches. So you're going from 4 inches and you're doing 1 line before 8. So, because really you want 7 7/8. So about there. Okay, so that gives you that there. Now, so this is going to fold back that way because that's the front of your card. This is folding that way. Okay, so you end up with this shape. This is going to be the front, this is your inside, but this bit has got to come forward. So what I haven't scored at this stage because I want to make sure that I score in the right place. So I just press that down just so that it meets here, okay? and then I can see that my card folds flat. Now you can see where there's a line there, and just to strengthen that, I am going to score that bottom piece. Okay, so I didn't score it before I did it, but now it's scored and it folds nicely. And that is your Z fold card. Ta-da! So now what we need to do is decorate it. Okay, so I'm going to fold it out flat again. And thinking about my piece of paper, I have a look and decide which bits I want where. So I think I want a really floral piece on the front, and I want this bit here to be that. And I'm going to do it exactly the same. So if I bring this one in so you can see, I'm going to do floral at the front, these two squares here floral, and those two pieces the background side. So I have got those ready, okay, to save you watching forever. So my first piece for the front, I'm going to layer it with the Merry Merlot. And I've got some glue somewhere. So that piece of card is 3 7/8 by 5 7/8. So how I've worked that out is it's slightly smaller. Actually, I think it needs to be 3 6/8. Let's do that. So that's, oh. Let's have a look. Never glue it before you're sure of the size. So that's going to go like that. So that was 3 6/8 or 3 3/4 by 5 7/8. Okay, and that's going to go on there. So I'm just going to glue that on. Okay, so that will go like that, and you can see there's a border all the way round. Okay, so the next piece that I'm going to do is this piece here. Okay, so that piece is 3 7/8 by 3 6/8. So there's ever such a tiny fraction of difference, so just make sure you're putting it the right way round. So that was 3 7/8 by 3 6/8. So it's almost square, just an 1/8 of an inch difference. So again, lay it on first before you press it down and glue it. That's that one. These squares are really easy. They're 1 7/8 by 1 7/8. So you've got one there. And you could really make this card your own just by using different paper. You could stamp your background scenes. You could do all sorts with this. That one's going to go there. So you can see there's a granny apple green frame all around it. Oh. And there. I don't know why I moved that round. It's the same size, isn't it? It's a square. It's obviously my eyes. Now this panel is 3 7/8 by 1 7/8. So it's really looking a bit strange at the minute, I think. Green and Granny Apple Green and Merry Merlot. Not so sure. But you wait in a minute when I put the DSP on. So yeah, it's all done, that layer. So the next layer that I'm going to put on, now I made that slightly smaller, so I need to chop another 1/8 of an inch off of that. So this this one is 3 5/8 by 5 6/8. Now, one of the things that I always do with my card when I'm laying it, especially onto dark, is the Designer Series paper has got a white core, unlike the Stampin' Up card, because that's coloured all the way through. So I always just go along the edge with a stamping marker, just so it takes away some of that harsh white edging, and it just helps the Designer Series paper blend in. Okay, so you don't notice where the edge is. Lovely. So that's going to go on there. I actually like the other side as well. I'm not sure if it's which side is the best. Let's go super floral. Lovely. There you go. Now I'm going to do this piece next, and that, now you need to be careful with this and this one if you're using similar paper, because it has got an up and a down, so if I put that on there it just wouldn't look right. So that is going on there. So this paper is 3 6/8 by 3 5/8. So everything is just an eighth smaller than your other sizes. Seems a shame to be putting glue on that pretty floral side. Okay. This bit I'm going to put white again. So that is 3 3/3 by 1 6/8. So that's pretty easy. Put that on there. Nice bit of basic white card just on there. Could even stamp something on there actually. Didn't think of that till now. Now these little bits, they are 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. So before I stick them down, I'm going to have a little play to see which ones go first, which ones I like. That I think goes at the end. Yeah. So now I'm going to turn this one round. I know no one's going to notice that those papers match, but I do. And oh, and you know what I haven't done? I haven't gone around the white edge. After saying I always do it. Very annoying to forget. So I've been a Stampin' Up demonstrator for 7 years now, and I absolutely love it. I started off that I wanted to get an owl punch. Do any of you remember that? That really lovely owl punch. I wish they still did it, because loads of my ladies would like it. Never heard of Stampin' Up before in my life, and found out very quickly that I could only get it through a demonstrator. So I went along and just got blown away by the catalogue. There's just so much inspiration in there. The projects are they just wow you, don't they? And now here I am doing videos on YouTube. Well, trying. So I would say crafting is my absolute joy. There you go. Ta-da! How cool is that? As quick as that, ladies. So all I've got to do now is die cut some flowers from the front. I'm not sure actually if I'll use the poppy ones again. This actually looks like the rose in the hues of happiness, so I might swap and use those dies instead. I'll find a nice sentiment to go on there, and we are done. I love it. Shall I bring the other one back in so you can see it? See which papers you prefer. So this one has got a pink lining with the green, and this one has got Merry Merlot. But the colours all coordinate. How lovely is that? Thank you for watching. I hope you've liked my video. If you have and you'd like to see some more, please subscribe and click the notification bell. If you're in the UK, you can shop with me online at createtheottaway.co.uk. I'd love to see your makes, so please get in touch with those. You can send me them via email or find me on Facebook or Instagram. Thanks for watching. Bye.